before. I don't mind coming here to play the Dockers, Port Adelaide.
There wouldn't be too many interstate sides that had a positive record away from home.
Final term underway. Sandlin's trying to do it on his own to half forward. No need to tell you, first goal critical. McCarthy shoots it back. Chaplin. Bouncing ball towards the boundary. Fremantle at half forward to start this final term.
You said McCarthy. He's had 27 disposals today, John McCarthy, the recruit from Collingwood over the summer. Trengo's had 19, Chaplin 19, and for Freo, Broughton's had 20 and Duffield 19.
And here he is on cue for you, Rube. Another possession to McCarthy. Butcher can't mark that. Duffield caught. Umpire said it was a handball. Splendid tackle, wrap-around tackle by Ebert, the fresh sub who's come on. Brett Ebert.
Jared, do you think Ross Lyon will be angry because they're having so many handballs, Fremantle? They've actually had as many handballs as kicks.
Yeah, I think he'd be angry because they're playing a bit of champagne footy, Hollywood footy, not the direct stuff that he'd be requiring.
De Boer, Boer's in. Crowley, the look-away handball, a little bit of Hollywood there. Hill, unkind bounce. Phillips, Stewart, Boak, Corns. No one to go too long. He's only got Butcher short. Now Butcher runs for him, and Westhoff runs for him as well. In the Westhoff direction, Crutch. Ball out of play.
Good contest, though. Coming back with a fly to the ball. I think it was McFarlane. No, it was Johnson. It's been one of their best today, and this is a really game effort.
I reckon that was a free kick, Jared.
Yeah,
his eyes off the ball.
On reflection, Jacko, on the replay, you might be right.
Mazungu. Johnson to Hill. Some space to work with. Crowley, Pearce, Hill. A floater. Pavlich with a fist. Thumps it to the danger zone. Corns couldn't trap it. Mundy does. Duffield slick. And now Main. Mundy. Duffield. No one to go too long. The crowd urging them forward. Main. Sits that a little on Sandlin's, but he had the reach. Pavlich lurking inside 50. Main now sees him. Puts it into Pav's direction. It's over his head. He gets back and makes a contest, Pavlich. Carlisle, critical contest this. Towed away from them well by Boak. Surgeon, Trengove, Boak. Shows some poise there, Logan.
Well, Fremantle are going to do this the easy way and kick the first goal or two and kill off the spirit of Port Adelaide, or if they're going to do it the tough way, they may just they concede the next goal, they will be working overtime to restrict Port Adelaide. It will sniff a victory.
Tell their nerves are jangling already. Kasisi, a tumbler, little chaos ball to half forward. Johnson made it his, sets it up to Hill. Good man to give it to. Pavlich on the move. Hill looks at him and ignores him. Runs into a gang tackle. Hartlett.
Well, there was no one there. Pavlich was going up the middle and Clark was going sideways. The bloke's a left footer. You have to run into his vision.
Broughton was just off the bench. McCarthy eluded him. Logan. There's some more vertical footy. Dawson can't kill that and knock it out. He mops up his little mess. McFarlane, McPhee.
Switches on.
For the open side, Ballantyne wants it and he wants it long. Johnson now realises it. And he hits Ballantyne on the move. Little slip, but he's got Clark outside. Pavlich inside 50, now running outside 50.
Good kick.
Carlisle with him. Pav makes the ground.
He's got Lockie Neal to long bomb it to.
Sandlin's making some space now. Pierce.
Good decision.
What if they kick it long to Sandland, see if he can take a catch?
He does. Sandlin stands. He's up. He's got it. Well, that's game plan 1A.
Yes, it's pretty basic footy. It's been around for a long time, but why wouldn't you do it when he's 6 inches taller than his fellow ruckman, 20 metres out from goal? That's when Port Adelaide's defenders need to get back there. You can't expect just the ruckman to go one-on-one, or you can generally, but not against Sandilands. They needed one of the big fellas to drop off and come third man up.
Has to kick it yet, Roo.
Jacko's not sure. Sandlin's drives it through the middle with confidence. And Port Adelaide again at breaking strain.
Well, it's just such a valuable weapon. but you always think there's just a little bit more of that from Aaron Sandlands to give, to go forward and to take these grabs. Too often, when he's not able to run at the ball, he's moved off the ball. For a big bloke, he doesn't, in my view, use his legs as anchor points enough, and smaller men are able to shift him sideways. But on that occasion, with him on the move, you'd need a step ladder to spoil that.
Hopefully we'll see him go forward and do that more, Jared, as Clark's development as a ruckman continues.
A good time to do it, but it's an area of his game that he has been criticised, that when he goes forward he needs to contribute more like that, kick more goals.
Floats up and flicks it to Crowley. Clearance to Broadbent, but to Mundy. Ibbotson shoots it wide. Neil, splendid pass.
Wasn't it a good kick?
Main on the march. You can see the finish line right now, Fremantle. They've still got a bit of work to do to get there. Plenty of time left, 15.5 minutes, a 28-point margin, and the Pavs stuck on 499 goals if you've joined us late. Westhoff with the flick. Hill. Chaplin just realised the Pav was there in time. Carlisle. Pavlich stalking it again to his own advantage. The crowd finding voice. To Mzungu. Slips it inside 50. Main can't get the run that he wanted. Logan, Trengove, Neil stripped him of it, and he tunneled that out. That was almost a throw. Chaplin kick half smothered. De Boer stolen from him by Jacobs. Port Adelaide under some pressure now. Dawson, Hill. He's got Barlow goal square. Pav running back. Barlow had a long time, not long enough.
Well, we were trying to be quiet. The umpire gave the game up. Down on the left-hand side, there is a bit of disturbance, not on screen. The other end of the ground, the real action is.
The nudity.
It's a family program. We can't show where the actual action is. We'll just keep our cameras focused on the real action. Clock stops.
Disrespectful to the mothers out there.
Absolutely. Disturbance over. Back into play. Critical ball in this as well. The game on offer right now for Fremantle if they can kick one and kick it in a hurry. Port Adelaide, with this breeze in the final term, not cooked yet.
No, and I think it was only fair that we didn't show anything, but we have added one stat to the tackle count.
Back into play. Mzungu. I'll keep being a straight man, Jared. Ran off, knocked it down. Surge into the wing. McFarlane, half a length. McPhee, Dawson, McFarlane, Johnson. Just can't land the knockout blow at the moment. Renoff back with the flight and the stretch.
Yeah, and I saw it from down here, Jared, fair to say. Not pretty TV.
Trengove short down the middle. The disturbance might be what Port Adelaide needed. Young, he just missed Westhoff, but he was clever enough. Toes it to half forward. Johnson gets back. It bounced kindly for him. And in the middle of the ground, Young's trying to put his boot back on. Hill was free. Short to Pavlich. He could go back for goal 500. Unselfishly to Main. And he gets there.
Yeah, Young's injured in the middle.
Big time injured.
Can't even put his weight on his ankle.
Port Adelaide have already used their sub, Brett Ebert.
And they're about to... Dylan Robinson's about to come on, guys, so just waiting for an interchange here.
Lockie Neal would appear to be.
Has been activated. Lockie Neal substitute out of the game for Dylan Robertson.
But all eyes on Chris Main. Big kick this, and he punches the air the moment it met his boot. He still hasn't missed for the year. And the Fremantle Dockers can smell victory.
Yeah, it was good transition of the ball from the other end of the ground. Johnson got in the way. The kick off the ground just didn't quite work for Port Adelaide. And then a major transition by foot would have pleased Ross Lyon. Arguably their best passage of play for the afternoon.
Yeah, they've jumped out here. 5 inside 50s to 1 in this last quarter.
Port Adelaide in the lap of the gods now. 6 goals down, 13 minutes left. Fremantle, victory here would see them rise inside the 8. The win they had to have. Port Adelaide disappointed if they go away empty-handed. It'll be 6 losses in a row for them. Ebert again goes sideways.
See, all that does is put more pressure on the forwards, if you ask me. I think put it long.
And that's the easy cure for Barlow. Glenn Jakovic.
Just gives Port Adelaide, Fremantle time to set up, but just a few injuries down here. Port Adelaide have got a couple of players in the hands of the trainers, but we see Matthew Pavlich having a rest and Lachie Neal being substituted, as we mentioned before.
Tie up on the ground in the meantime. Umpire lets it go an enormous amount of time.
Zach Dawson has just charged forward.
Here's the injury, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Just got set back on his haunches and unbalanced himself. Zach Dawson has charged forward. He's the spare man. Will he end up with a footy?
McPhee. Butcher puts the pressure on. Slips the handball to Johnson. He's had a good day at the office. Surgeon tried to kill that down to Phillips. Butcher. McPhee bursts his way through. Robertson, fresh sub. Fremantle couldn't make something of that. Corns. Stewart. McCarthy wants it long. He's at a one-on-one with Ibbotson. Uses the hands in the back. Yeah. Umpire says no free. Ibbotson gets one for 2 high. There's the evener up.
Yeah, 2 bits of sloppy footy by Port, really.
And a poor decision. I mean, you've got 2 hands in the back. The free kick's there.
Roden called to go. Logan, no one to go to in the square, so he sets it straight to Clancy Pearce.
Sets up just the circle work. In one side, out the other.
And Pavlich is back on. The crowd can sense a quick foray forward. Muzungu fumbles it though. Broadbent hands it up. Jacobs back inside 50 for Port Adelaide, but with each passing second, Fremantle closer to victory. Their 5th of the year. Duffield down the middle. So Robertson told to go. He's got the advantage and he bombs it. Dawson, the man inside 50, had an arm slapped, and again the umpire denies them a free that looked there. Boak, floater, McCarthy, Clark wraps him up, takes him out. Ball.
50.
And 50, so Clark will line up a goal from 30 out. And the crowd warming to this.
Well, that must frustrate Matty Primus. A bad kick out of the back line again by Chaplin, undoing his good work. Going at less than 60% with his kick, but you've got to hit your targets coming out of back line. That's where, if you want your fellow players to run, you can't turn the ball over and go straight back over their head.
For the knockout blow, post.
So we've had some posters today, Dwayne. That one, again, right in the middle. We've had a few at either end.
And some floaters.
Had some work on the ball.
Aaron Young still in the hands of the trainer. It's that left knee of his. They're just testing the outside of it, but they're down to 2 men on the bench, so difficult times here for Port Adelaide.
Corns to Surgeon. Sits it up a little out of side. West off. Couldn't mark it. Muzungu. West off. Muzungu fighting hard. They want to run this out, Fremantle. Game-wise, that is. Jacobs want to run it out of fence for Port Adelaide. Renoff, who's plucked a couple in this final term. But again, not a lot to go too long. Boak backtracks. McFarlane wrapped him. Put a bow around him. And he wins the free kick.
It's great defensive work there from McFarlane.
Duffield, Johnson.
Just working the angles, trying to just suck players into their position and free up their teammates.
Lee Spur. Another win for him in game 2. Sandlands can't get there. Chaplin does.
He hasn't flushed his kicks all that often today, Troy Chaplin. That one he gets enough of.
Johnson and Butcher both miss it. And Butcher misses it again. Or did he get a toe on it? No.
A bit better that time at Port Adelaide. At least they had 3 at the contest when Butcher was flying for the mark. That's what they need to work more to the top of the square. Good kick by Troy Chaplin.
Dockers have had the #1 defence in the AFL in the past 4 games, conceding the least goals in the competition in that time. And again today, have only conceded 6. Robertson. Almost an arm knock as he brought that ball to ground. He was about to complete the mark when his arm was bumped, and that's normally a free. And you win most games when you only concede 6 goals on a fine afternoon. The Ross Lyon plan working again. 17 minutes gone, final term. Jacobs took it out of the air. Paul Stewart to Ebert. Left it behind.
Hartlett with just 10 disposals. Hamish Hartlett for Port Adelaide. David Roden 15. Matty Broadbent 14. They wouldn't be happy. It's not enough disposals for midfielders.
Saw Aaron Young on the bench there. Hopefully it's not a severe injury. Jacobs, centering kick. Good spot to hit. Butcher. Johnson bumped him nicely. Didn't give away the free kick, but held him away.
Yeah, despite the fact that he's only had the ball 8 or so times, Aaron Young, he does look like a really good talent coming through for Port Adelaide. Tough times, obviously, at the present time to shine, given that they've had a real struggle on the scoreboard, but his intensity excellent.
Duffield tried to knock that through, and then he tackled Phillips, who dumped it. Got to be ball.
Crowley's been on Boak all day. Crowley's had 19 and Boak's had 20.
Showed some experience again today. Paul Duffield, one of their better contributors. His 100th game coming up in a couple of weeks. Hugs the boundary. And Johnson. Stolen from him by De Boer. Still gets a possession though. Backtracks, and it could be ball as well.
Just missed the early one, the early release to Barlow, who was 15 metres away, but so often in these clinches the eyes only go to a 3 or 4 metre radius, not to where the real dangerous players are.
Ebert from outside 50 drives it long. Butcher, not the second grab, and that looked a little high. Free kick to Spur.
He looks pretty impressive, Jacko, young Spur.
Yeah, certainly. His kicking's been impressive today as well. Just set up play, but got himself a good free kick there. Put his head over the ball under a pressure situation, and another 50-metre penalty against Port Adelaide. Matthew Promise will be asking about the discipline of some of his players today in a situation where they're struggling.
Farland wide. He misses Robertson. Barlow and Robertson see it out of play. Down to 7 minutes and counting.
Let's just give him the ball back to the opposition when you get it off half back. Not sure it was McFarlane's issue or whether there was a problem with the angle of the players he was kicking it to, but that just has to hit a target.
Zungu to Crowley. Went backwards to go forward to De Boer. He was crunched.
He does not mind having a fly, De Boer.
He's got some real courage, and he's a good player for him.
Fremantle with Hawthorn next week in Launceston, then the Derby against the West Coast Eagles. Massive couple of weeks coming up. Win both those games, who knows? Who knows? They might be stalking top spot.
Sorry, boys, my ball. Sorry, a bit early. Sorry, my bad.
Adam McPhee's come off just his right ankle that the doctors are looking at. Come off for a bit of a rest.
Him in cotton wool for next week. Port Adelaide with North Melbourne next week at home. Maybe to break this run of 6 losses in a row. It'll be now Mazungu. Tried to feed it out.
Just in search of McPhee's injury, and that will do it. Just a knock below the knee. He's lucky if he gets away with just getting to the bench.
Boak, Corns, Westhoff, Roden. Not a lot to go to inside 50, so he shorts. Phillips couldn't mark, and how's that for a sweeping pickup by Robertson? And off they travel. Hill, Johnson, flicks it wide to Ballantyne. It worked. Pavlich works hard up the ground. Marks to a huge round of applause on the wing. Sandlin's playing full forward at the moment.
Danger plays in the corridor where he's gone. It's a Russian roulette move. Where's the bullet?
Ran off the deck, but it'll be coming back. Mundy makes it hard for Robertson, but he is the fresh man. Barlow ignores Robertson. Mazungu hoping for Main. It's an early leap from Trengo with a hand in the back, and it'll be Chris Main's ball, and he is a dead eye this year. Put this in the book.
Well, Jared, that probably goes in the undisciplined category, I would have thought, doesn't it?
Yeah, that goes in the coach killer category. I mean, he's the big bloke. He just puts his hands above his head, uses his hip or his front to just nudge Main forward, and he takes a nice, comfortable mark. He's a young player. He'll learn.
And he's had a good day, Jackson, but that was a mistake.
12 goals straight for the season for Chris Main. 2 goals straight today. And this one from straight out. Made the goal umpire dance. 13 straight to start the year.
Pretty good performance all round. Here it is now. He just had he had all the space covered. Didn't need to jump at all. Just had to turn his side, prevent Main coming back, and he just snaffles it nice and easily. And Matty Primus is just exasperated. He knows he's got a good young talent there, but it's that sort of stuff that just holds him back another week. This is where I like to see Trengo playing, in the ruck. I think he's a genuine talent, can be a formidable player in the ruck. Not convinced playing in defence is his best spot.
Clark in the ruck against Trengove. You mentioned McCarthy, Corns. Straight through Phillips, clean bowled him. First game of the year, so maybe a little rusty. Broadbent. Westhoff at full forward. Ebert running back with the run. Robertson, Duffield, Johnson. All the answers, the Dockers. And that won't be deliberate.
Boys, in the second and fourth quarters, Port Adelaide going with a very strong breeze. They have not kicked a goal this afternoon.
And it's so often the case in footy in this era where running the ball, the short kick, etc., seems to defy the logic of kicking with the wind, and you score more into the wind than you do with it.
They've actually only got 3 points.
Broadbent from the pocket, rolls it home, collects the umpire, and gets himself a consolation prize.
Well, it was a nice finish. There's no question about that. Great skill here from Broadbent. Be interested to have a look at Johnson on the line, whether or not he's anticipated this coming through. It did look to me as if he could have had a bit of a hand on this. No, well wide.
Goal umpire didn't anticipate it very well.
He missed it.
I'd argue he's in the right spot there.
Goal umpire?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Doesn't matter if he gets hit.
Courageous goal umpire.
Couple of goals for Matthew Broadbent. Oh, they're made of tough stuff these days, the goal umpires. Men and women of steel. From the ball up, Gassisi. Hill, who got them going in that opening term when they were lethargic. Crowley can't mark this. Main about to pounce. Pavlich caught. Not 15 as you heard. Ebert,
good hands.
Carlisle, Jacobs, Corns wide, and Westhoff. Johnson beats him again. Duffield the crumb. Robertson. Matthew Pavlich still stuck on 499 career goals. Johnson to the pocket, to him, on cue. And this would be a great full stop for the game. The crowd applaud.
He's had a couple of half chances in the last 60 minutes of football to kick the 500th, but he's handballed it or just chipped it away. But I think this one, Dwayne, we'd be disappointed if he didn't go back and at least have a shot.
He's had a good afternoon, Pav. He's had 17 disposals and kicked 3 goals straight.
For goal number 500 for his career. Strikes it okay. The Purple Heart. His 4th for the day, 500th of his career, and the 51st AFL VFL player to reach the magical 500 figure.
Well, he's been a superstar, Matty Pavlich, 6 times All-Australian, I think 5 best and fairest, 500 goals, and still some pretty good footy to come, I think, in his career. He'll go forward, he'll kick more goals, and he'll be a good target for him up forward. And the main thing he would want, though, before the end of his career is a premiership, and hopefully they can play finals footy this year.
There's a lot of love in the house for the Pav. He's a Hall of Famer in future years. He'll be in there with some of the all-time greats. Heads his way towards the ball for another one. 4 for the game, 4 points more importantly.
Who will Jacko be thinking of for the Glenn Jakovich medal, Roo?
Well, I think the Pav has played pretty well.
Got off to a fly. Bloke at the other end of the ground, Johnson, would have to be given that he... Oh, no, he won't get it as a centre-half-back. Jacko doesn't give it to centre-half-backs.
Carlisle, Hartlett, heads out wide. Westhoff, Broadbent, Ebert. So how did the Adelaide Crows miss out on Matthew Pavlich? His father was a great SANFL player.
Well, it was a bit of bad recruiting, I guess. They went for Ken McGregor instead of Matthew Pavlich. So they got that one wrong.
Not that Ken McGregor wasn't a bad player. He just hasn't been the champion that Matthew Pavlich has been. Pearce. Wrapped up. Mzungu. Johnson, of course, that was in the draft before the draft that Matthew Pavlich was taken pick 4 by the Fremantle Dockers, and it was known he would be a star. Ebert, the Jacobs, down to 2 minutes and counting. Stewart. And it's going to be another tough week for Matthew Primus and Port Adelaide. Ebert inside 50. Butcher on the move. Gathers his own crumb. Takes on Broughton and loses. Mzungu to Dawson. I think Matthew Primus won't be buying the Adelaide Advertiser tomorrow. Mundy heads wide. Pavlich to the Roars again. Look at the smiles on the faces in the crowd.
John McCartney, he's just hobbling off. He looks like he's got cramp in both hamstrings.
Well, he has worked hard today, John McCarthy. He's had 30 disposals now.
Free kick, Port Adelaide to Boat. Another player that Port Adelaide are going to have to try and hold. He's been in the press this week in Melbourne as maybe being a chance to come home for 2014. For his hometown of Geelong. Or perhaps his old team he barracked for, Carlton. Everybody's after Travis Boak. Mzungu. De Hill. Not quite. Hartlett. Ebert lays a shepherd on Robertson. Corns. Mzungu.
Gee, we're having 5 minutes or 3 minutes of what's the opposite to vertical football?
Horizontal.
I suspect it's horizontal. Might be lateral.
Ebert sits under this. Down to 35 seconds and counted. He drives it to the square. Butcher in a good spot. Westhoff off the deck, kept it in. Not 15, just in case the players didn't realise that. And taken out of play, Dawson with Butcher.
Well, the actions of the players right now, they're out there, boys, it does appear to me as if they're asking for the timekeeper to take 36 seconds off.
Absolutely.
As opposed to last week,
That's
when
right.
Fremantle got the advantage of an extra 30. Robertson, they could square it all up now.
That's
just
right.
blow the siren. Off Surgeon's hands. Trengove back to Surgeon, and it would have been an injustice if Port Adelaide had the last score in this. Fremantle have owned this for a while. If you did join us late, Port Adelaide led by 13 points in the opening term, kicking against the breeze. But Fremantle hit back with a 4-0 second term. And it's been all uphill for Port Adelaide since then. Roden to the top of the square, and Main crashes the contest on the siren. 5th win of 2012 for Fremantle. And Ross Lyon and the Dockers take another step up the AFL ladder. And they're now 1 victory away and a little bit of percentage from top spot. Fremantle 12-15-87. Port Adelaide 7-5-47. The Dockers by 40.